Welcome to the first episode of Gamers React to GamePro, where every week we're going to go ahead and dive into the back catalog of GamePro Magazine, which was a 90s magazine that kids before the internet would thumb through and see what games they like. So you're going to see here that we are of different ages, different memories of, and different experiences of gaming. So we're just going to get our reactions, our thoughts, our feelings, what have you, as we look at GamePro, issue 1, which was published May 1989. So, first of all, let's introduce ourselves. I'm McMurphy, um, 42. I was about 11 years old when this magazine came out. How about who wants to go next?
Yeah, I'll jump in. So username is acetiepilot. Um, I was about 2 years old when this magazine launched. So yeah, I've played a few of these games, but a few of them I have not even heard of some of them, to be honest with you. So I'm excited to hear what other people's experiences with them are.
Great.
Right. I'm AKMilkMan. Uh, I was about 19, 20-ish when this game came out. I think it'd be May, so I would be 19. Played on most of these systems that this magazine actually talks about, and this was probably the best magazine of the time for any info on video games of that we were playing back then, um, especially for like Nintendo and Atari.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is, my introduction to GamePro was I did not read issue 1, so this will be a new experience for me. But uh, by the time I was reading it, it was all about the Nintendo and then Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. So I was actually a little surprised when looking at this cover of cover 1. Is right there. It says Atari, and they're not talking about the Atari Lynx or the Jaguar at this point. So, um, first of all, what do you guys think of the cover? Uh, Pretty nondescript. I don't know. I mean, obviously we have a football player, we have a commando type of guy, and we have a what is that? A Spartan warrior, maybe, some type of warrior. Um,
Yeah, I feel like it's
Yeah,
like a
definitely.
like a golden axe kind of
yeah,
thing he's got going on there.
yeah. They're not exactly committing to anything in particular, just giving you kind of the vibe of certain genres. It feels like.
Yeah, it's definitely not for any descriptive video game during that period of time. I mean, there were video games for like football and all
Mhm.
of these genres essentially.
Yeah. Well, as the cover says, let's dive into the premiere issue. Again, May 1989. And right away, we have Become an Atarian for only $15. Um,
That was spendy back then to
y-
be part of anything for a year.
yeah, but you get a T-shirt, a sew-on patch, a laminated ID card, 6 issues of official Atarian magazine, plus discounts on games. Imagine only Atari games. Yeah, that's still a lot for back in 1989.
Yeah.
Um, well,
Yeah, you'd be hoping that the discounts would be worth that $15 membership price, huh?
yeah,
Yeah.
I wonder how long that magazine was around after this point because I don't remember ever seeing it on the stand. And
I don't remember seeing it on the stand. I remember a couple of my friends had issues of it, laying around the house, but at this point in time, Nintendo was starting to pick up pace, and Atari was losing market share really bad. So they were doing anything that they could to try to get out there and in the public eye. So this was a pretty much a marketing ploy to get them out there. and try to get more market share back, which failed miserably.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Like my first system was an Atari 400, but that wasn't when it first came out. And I mean, so I guess what would they be looking at the Atari? I guess
It was
7800
the
maybe.
Yeah, it was the 2600 and the 7800 were the ones that were out at that point in time.
Hmm. Yeah.
But they
Um.
were really, I mean, I had one sitting there, but it was pretty much gathering dust at that point in time because I had my Nintendo that was just the main game to go with at the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Once we had a Nintendo, never really looked back on Atari. Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, now I look back. I mean, we're looking
Oh
at an
yeah.
old gaming magazine for crying out loud. But back then, it was like, no, done, graduated to something else. So on the next page, the facing page, we have an ad for Bubble Bobble. Um, I Bubble Bobble I rented numerous times as a kid. I remember watching a kid play all the way through it at a pizza place in Badette, Minnesota, and I was pretty like impressed. I'm like in there drinking my chocolate milk and having a pizza and watching this kid just crush Bubble Bobble. So I was excited when I could finally rent it. I don't have a no, I do have a physical copy of this game now. Um, how about you two? As far as your impressions, do you who here have you both played Bubble Bobble?
Yeah, yeah. I think everyone has seriously must have played Bubble Bobble at some
Yeah,
time in their life.
yeah,
Yeah, that was pretty much I don't know, I had the actual cartridge when I was growing up, or well, when I first had my first system in my first house and all that.
yeah.
That was part of the system. It was Bubble Bobble, and then I had Contra and all those as well. I even had Operation Wolf, which wasn't out during this period.
Yeah, I have Operation. I didn't own it as a kid, but I have it now. Um, was when I rented. That was the thing back then. People,
Oh yeah.
re, game rentals were huge. So,
Oh
and
yeah, they were. You'd go in on like a Friday after school and you'd rent it over the weekend and then you take it back like Sunday or Monday.
yep.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was yeah, yeah, it was fantastic. Fantastic time to be alive.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Bubble Bobble Dynamite. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, what's also keep in mind is people especially are unfamiliar with this time. It's not like we had a lot of um, avenues to see advertising for games. It's not like this whole industry it is now as far as expanding through different mediums. So it's quite likely that anyone that bought GamePro, issue one, this was their introduction to maybe getting Bubble Bobble at home. Um,
Yeah, more than likely.
yeah. Well, let's go ahead and flip the page. Here we go. We have our table of contents, and it's going to go through secret weapons. I know some starts on page 34. I imagine that's what gets renamed as SWAT, right? Remember that? That their
Um,
SWAT section with all
yeah,
the
I think
special
so.
codes. Yeah, and the
Mm.
Power Glove on the
Yeah.
facing page.
Oh my
Uh,
lord.
I wanted one. We never had one, but then I felt a little better when I remember in fifth grade, one of my friends, I found out he had one, and he just kind of like gave me a look. He's like, "It's crap. It fell off our TV and it was broke ever since." So, but I
Oh
thought I was
no.
like, "Oh, of course he would want to, play Punch Out with this and stuff," but ended up being not so great, right?
Failed miserably.
Yeah.
It's one of those classic Nintendo peripherals that just didn't quite meet the hype that surrounded it.
No, no. And even though it even cemented in more that kids should get it thanks to the movie, the Super Mario 3 advertising movie with oh, I'm blanking on the name of it. Sorry, anyone listening to this is
Can't. Yeah,
yeah
I
yelling at
can't
me because
remember.
yeah it's so right there. I know once we go through it'll pop back in my head, but considering that was a VHS rental several times. I do like they're going to have you see the last picture of Mario there flying because the sneak peeks of Super Mario 3 from Japan were pretty big back at this
Oh
time.
yeah,
Mm, yeah.
Seeing what's going on there and what's going to happen. So, uh, well, should we go ahead and flip the page?
yeah. Let's
Yeah.
go ahead. Oh,
Oh,
Yeah. Wow.
there we go.
Far
the
out.
Power Glove. Yes.
Oh yeah, we're now on the Welcome to GamePro. I guess it's the letter from the editor in chief, Don Farrell. Let's see.
Why does
It's
that name ring a bell? That name
yeah.
rings a bell for some reason.
I
You know?
should have Googled that before I came in. It does. Um, and Patrick Farrell, so obviously they're related. Wow, yeah. Looking over the writers, no one jumps out right off the bat.
Mm,
But let's see, what does Don Farrell have to tell us? It's new, flashy, fun, and full of information you want to see and read. That's what you're holding in your hands right now. GamePro Magazine. It's a blockbuster new magazine built for the game, from the game up, ground up. Well, just for you, the video game player. And he's going to sell us, I guess, on the value of GamePro, which
Oh yeah.
back then, you know, it probably was. I mean, what would be GamePro, Nintendo Power? There's gonna, but this was definitely one of the top selling game magazines, or it will end up being that for a while.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. This was definitely the crux of what we were looking at back then. Um, I mean, you didn't see very many ads on TV or uh, anywhere else for that matter. I mean, you'd see the occasional Nintendo come across TV during Saturday morning cartoons or whatever like that. But I mean, you wouldn't see it at the 5 o'clock news.
yeah, and of course, next to this, we have a big old advertisement for getting an Atari for Atari
Oh
7800 for $60, 59.99. Uh, yeah,
that's the steal these
that's
days.
crazy.
yeah.
These days, you're adding another zero, to,
Yeah.
to what you got going on there.
Yeah. Um, I never had a 7800, but I had a 2600. Um, yeah, it's kind of cool. I mean, it's it's like a newsprint ad, all black and white, so that's a little interesting. They didn't spring for color for this, but
Yeah, it
uh,
is actually, isn't it?
yeah. I think GamePro in general gets a lot more colorful as we go on, like as it goes on as a series, as a
Oh yeah.
publication. Okay, let's go ahead and click through here. The cutting edge. This I had seen. Obviously, the Power Glove, but then on the other facing page, we have U-Force, which I had never heard of before. I don't remember seeing an ad for it or anything. So
No, this is definitely new to me. I hadn't seen it before this magazine.
yeah,
I actually have seen the U-Force. I saw it in action at one of the local video game sales spots. Um, it was, I mean, they were playing Mike Tyson's Punch Out on it, and it was hilarious, but it was later on in time.
hmm, yeah, yeah. Did it work well? Because obviously the Power Glove didn't, but this one that I hadn't even heard of. I can't
It,
imagine this working awesome. So
yeah, it wasn't awesome, definitely, but I mean, it did work for. what it was supposed to do, which was register movement above it.
Hmm.
Yep.
I do
What's
like. Oh, go for it.
No, no, you go, McMurph.
I was just going to point out I love some of the print uh, next to the picture of the Power Glove. Is this year 2001? No, it's 1989.
Yeah,
You've
that's
got
fantastic.
yeah, you've got the unbelievable new Power Glove from Mattel Toys. This technology, originally designed and developed by NASA, provides a space-age link between man and machine. That is,
That's some really good talk right there.
yeah.
Talking it up. I mean, honestly, I wanted to have this thing when I was that, right about around that time. I was like, I'll save up some money and I'll buy it. But thankfully, I never did, because I think I would have been pissed because that thing was pretty expensive at the time. I
Yeah.
can't remember.
Yeah,
It
I
was
don't
like,
think you would have gotten a return on investment on that one for sure.
yeah,
Uh, I won't lie. If I saw this in a retro store, I might pick up a U-Force. I don't know,
yeah.
because I'm kind of fascinated that it exists. Okay. Unless there's something else anyone wants to add, let's go ahead and flip.
Oh,
Uh,
there it is. $19 for the subscription. That's what it was.
Yep.
ah, 10% off the cover price.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there we go. You can call the 1-800 magazine number. I'm sure that does not go
Sure,
anywhere.
it doesn't work anymore.
Nope. You're probably going to get something entirely different nowadays. So,
Yeah.
Super Dodgeball. I see that. I remember seeing it, never rented it. I
Yeah,
know
I never played it.
I know so there's people that swear by the game. I still don't really get the attraction, except for you can play, two player. So any game back then where you can get a friend on another controller was fun. But I don't know. It never spoke to me.
Yeah.
But
Wasn't
It's
my
got
thing.
yeah. I picked it up late in the NES cycle because I really enjoyed the Nintendo World Cup soccer game, and this is made like it's the same design and everything. So I was like, oh yeah, this looks like cool.
yeah,
Hmm.
okay, let's go and
Yeah.
click on here. Personality profile. Hey, I see symbol for Operation Wolf there and Renegade. Alan Fetzer didn't know how complex home video game business was until he jumped it, into it headfirst last April. Now he maneuvers the sword of Rastin at an office computer when the work pace slows from furious to fast. Let's see. He comes out of Vancouver to our Canadian friends. Um, so did you get anything from this article as far as him just I mean Operation Wolf, I did like that game. I did like Renegade. I own I actually own them both now, the cartridge, but back then they were just rentals. Um,
Yeah, no, I've not played either of these games actually.
Played them a few times back then, but have not since even looked for them. I actually kind of forgot they existed. I mean,
yeah.
I really haven't delved back into the Nintendo era other than to occasionally, like, my wife picked up one of these silly systems that's got every single game that uh, Sega had during a time when I was younger, and I mean it just a little system about the size of maybe a small phone of the day. Um, that's what my kid plays on, or used to play on. He's gone now on to the Xbox and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, it is a fun little, it is a fun read. It's it's kind of cool to see a write up about the head of how
Oh
do
yeah.
you is it Tato Teato? I never actually
Sure.
said the company out loud before, but yeah, they made some games I liked, and um, so he obviously had an impact.
Yeah, down in the bottom of the article is talking about how Operation Wolf may be the video game hit of the year.
Yeah, earlier this year was released Operation Wolf, number one arcade hit. Uh, let's see. Yeah, it's also available on a Commodore 64 and Atari ST. Did not play those versions, but I played the NES one. Did Renegade already come out at this time? Let's see. I think that's. It sounds like it's
Don't think
coming
it
out.
has.
Yeah.
It's getting there.
Yeah. Talking about it doing well in arcade and converting over to the NES soon. So, okay. I also like how, we say NES and stuff like that, but especially when we go through these old GamePro magazines and all that stuff, no one said NES back then. It was always the Nintendo system or Nintendo, that's kind of shorthand that's developed. And people certainly didn't say SNES back in the day, so. Okay, let's go on here. Okay, Hot at the Arcades. Uh, what do we got here? Double Dragon 2, The Revenge. Narc. I did play Narc in the arcade. Um, and Power Drift. I don't know if I've played Power Drift, but my arcade experience, unfortunately, because I lived in the middle of nowhere, is pretty limited to whatever the local mom and pop department store had, a few arcade machines that they would rotate out. And Narc was on there for a little bit. I didn't play Double Dragon until it landed on the NES, but it's kind of cool to see these titles getting a write up as arcade versions at the time.
I don't know how many quarters I spent on Double Dragon.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I bet. I bet.
I mean, back in the day, that was the thing to do was to go down to the local arcade and play whatever's down there. Could be anything from Miss Pac-Man all the way up to Double Dragon. Um, oh, what was it? I can't even really remember the game that I liked the most. Um, I think Double Dragon was one of them, and then, uh, gosh, it was I can't even think of the name of the game. It's been that long.
Yeah.
Totally
Power,
escapes me.
yeah,
I do like kind of like the introduction to this little piece here is odds are very good that if a game is hot news at the arcades, it will soon be made into a home version for your Nintendo, Sega, or Atari unit. So every issue, our GamePro writers report to you what's sizzling in CoinOp to give you a peek at some possible future titles for your home unit. Well, they were right. All three of them went to home console. So,
yeah. I actually played Power Drift on my dad's PC.
oh, it was on.
Booting it up on a floppy through DOS and playing that. Just some absolute fond memories of Power Drift. Just absolutely awesome.
Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead. Here we go. Operation Wolf, Nintendo Pro View. I think they keep that signage, right? Nintendo Pro View. I think they keep the Pro View thing stick
I believe
going.
so.
Yeah,
At least for another couple years.
yeah. So Operation Wolf. It was one of those games where you could use the light gun or the controller. Correct? Am I thinking of the right game?
I think so.
I think so. And looking at the screenshots, it sure looks like it. Um, I can't remember which one was a little easier, but probably the controller. Um, when I rented it, I doubt I even dug out the light gun. I mean, let's face it, when you first got the Nintendo, you would you know, play it on Duck
Duck
Hunt.
Hunt.
Yeah, but then it kind of got forgotten, you know.
Yeah,
So
pretty much. It just sat there.
let's
I don't know. We
see.
used to sit around, drink beer, and play Nintendo.
Let's see. Pro tip: never attack a group of enemies when there's a hostage among them. You might injure yourself. Okay, or conserve bullets. Use short bursts. You don't use all your ammo. Eliminate the animals for power-up weapons. That's
Oh,
probably not as correct as it is then. So don't don't pass up the chance to collect power-up boxes. You'll need them. Save your rocket grenades for the helicopters. Those are not very. I guess they're tips. They're not very deep though. But yeah, it
Yeah,
was a
they're pretty self-explanatory, aren't they?
yeah. Okay, yeah. Best control. They were recommending the light gun. I would have to go back and play it. I kind of feel like that's misleading. I feel like the controller was the way to go, but I see why they're pimping it. But I'm sure somebody will respond and say, "Nah, you're remembering wrong." So okay, yeah, Operation Wolf. It's cool to see that. Do they say when this is going to come out? See, back then, I don't think they ever gave confirmed dates except for like see it in June or something, you know, or end of 1989. Maybe it's already out
coming
at
out
this
at
point.
Christmas.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Okay, let's go ahead and click through. Adventures of Lolo, and it has a full page spread going on here. So I know people fondly like this game. I never got into the Adventures of Lolo. I rented one of them out, but it it was a cool. It's kind of a puzzler, wouldn't you say?
I've never played it.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't even think I even remember seeing it. Now, Rollerball, on the other hand, I dealt with that one,
Oh yeah, Rollerball.
but,
Yeah.
but I don't remember the other one.
Oh, of course, this is by uh, Hal, so um, they're making some good stuff,
That's
and they definitely go on
yeah,
to make stuff.
that's that's cool to see them still around and making games.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, with my son, I on the Nintendo Switch, I've been. He loves playing Kirby. We play it together, so um, it's kind of cool. Yeah, if I remember this right, each level is kind of weird. They don't really show you a whole lot of gameplay there. I notice, but
I think it's on the next page. They show a little bit more.
oh yeah, you're right. So there's a little bit, yeah, just underneath this illustration. Yeah, so it's one of those ones where you go to room or floor to floor, and you have to figure out a way to get to the next one, and it gets increasingly more difficult with. So I would say overall, it's a puzzler, an adventure puzzler. I would say.
Yeah, it definitely looks that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, let's go ahead and click through. Oh, even more. Oh, this is what you were talking about, I think. So it on its third page, Hal spent some money on this, I think, to get
Yeah.
this
Oh
in
yeah.
here. Maybe not so much for issue one. I'm sure the space wasn't as expensive as it later becomes, but yeah, yeah. I mean, the art style is kind of reminiscent of the first Zelda game, if you think about it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it is actually, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I may revisit it after this. I don't think I have a physical cartridge of this though. I have to go back and check. And then it seems like what they're also advertising Air Fortress and Vegas Dream. Um, Air Fortress. I'm sure I've played it. With the
Yeah.
shooter with the side-scrolling shoot 'em ups. It's hard to remember which one's which. After a while, there were so
Yeah.
many of them.
Yeah. There
So
was
true.
one coming out all the time.
Yeah, and I didn't get into the card games on the Nintendo. with the exception of Casino Kid I really liked, but that had like almost an RPG element to it. But yeah, Vegas Dream I'm sure never hit my console. But
Don't
okay,
remember.
let's see what else. And here, Bubble Bobble's back. They had an ad, now they're having a write up. Um, yeah, it was great. It was a great co-op game, especially since back in Nintendo, it was very easy to have a Nintendo game that was turn-based, two-player. But so when you were able to get one where each player was on the screen at the same time, that was something. It was a really creative game.
Yeah, it was actually. It had a few little funny little mechanics to it, didn't it?
Yeah. I think trying to get your hands on the sequel to this game is pretty pricey nowadays, isn't it? I think this.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah. So yeah, let's go ahead and click there since we already talked a bit about Bubble Bobble. Well, wait, what's the pro tip? What are they going to tell us? Grab every magic bonus you can get. You'll need them to outwit the beasties. Okay. Um, get to round 20 on your first bub for a hidden treat. See, now that's a good pro tip. Get something extra if you don't lose
Yeah,
in life. Yeah. Okay. Cute game. Venture Island. I do really like this game. I do like the Adventure Islands. Um,
never played them before.
a side scroller platformer,
Yeah,
Um,
it kind of looks like Alex the Kid kind of thing.
yeah, yeah, I can see that.
Pitfall, something on that order.
Yeah,
Mm.
um, it's like simplistic, but it also gets there's some unfair deaths going on in this game. Is all I gotta say. Um, you know, they'll throw something at you. It's kind of like, oh yeah, get ready. There's going to be a hovering bat soon here. But no, it was cool. This is the first one, so you can get a skateboard. I see that in the picture there. You have some boss battles. Um, yeah, it's a fun, very charming game. Um, did so neither of you played this?
No, I've never played it.
No, me either.
What's great is I think is it the third one. They really get into kind of like the Mario 3 setup where you have a map and he was riding dinosaurs of different powers at that point. So this is the
Oh, that's
closest.
interesting.
Yeah, yeah. If I guess if you wanted the experience of riding Yoshi on the original Nintendo, the later Adventure Islands were the way to go. So, and yeah, I know on YouTube there was always talk. It's like the real bring up is Yoshi wasn't in the Mario games prior to the Super Nintendo because he didn't have the capability to do it. And I always felt like, well, Adventure Island did a version of it, but I guess they want to do more or something. Okay, let's see. Adventure Island's okay. Shinobi. How about this?
Oh,
Oh yeah.
yeah. Now we're talking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have this on a cartridge nowadays. I'm sure I rented it.
Played
Uh,
it in the video games, in the coin op.
oh yeah? No, I never
Oh
did
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Was my first thing that I played that was, I guess, more realistic than the little, 8-bit Mario or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I remember playing Shinobi.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
was
know
a
how many
cool
No,
one.
players. And
yeah, no, you had so many different weapons available to you for such
oh
a,
yeah,
an early Nintendo game. And it just played so well. I've very fond memories of
yeah.
playing Shinobi.
Yeah. Yeah, good game. And ninjas, I mean, in the 90s, it was all about ninjas. So, the more
Oh yeah.
ninja games you can get on
Very true.
Nintendo.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. Uh, R-Type I I don't know. I see it. I don't think I actually played this. Every time I look at it, it kind of reminds me of maybe Life Force, and so I might get some of those memories. The graphics look good. Is this? Oh, this is Sega preview. Okay, I was gonna say it does look a little better than the
Yeah.
NES screenshot. So no, I didn't. I wasn't a Sega kid. I had a friend that had a Sega Master, and then another friend that had a Sega Genesis. But so the games I played were pretty limited. It looks fun. I mean, it looks really good.
Oh yeah. No, I don't remember playing anything. I really wasn't into the shoot 'em up back then, as far as space adventures and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But now I look at it and I'm like, hey, that could be kind of fun.
yeah, yeah. I think even as a kid, with first owning an Atari, this space theme usually kind of turned me off because that was the bread and butter of Atari. So anytime I played something later on Nintendo, it's like, oh, this is a different type of game, you know. Um, Not that they had side-scrolling shoot 'em ups like this, but yeah, no, this looks fun. Okay. Oh, and it goes on to a third page, giving some more pro tips, some more
Galaga.
screenshots. And Bandai, let's see, add uh, for Zysous, the Avenger, Galaga. Oh, there's the infamous Jekyll and Hyde, made
Yeah.
famous from the
The
video game.
programmable controller.
Yeah, yeah. Man, that looks ugly. That does not look useful at all. Maybe it was. Maybe
No,
I'm wrong.
no, it wasn't. It was just huge for the time.
Okay.
And later on, I bought the actual joystick one of those that you actually had a joystick that was comparable to coin op,
Hmm. Yeah.
but the programmable buttons were kind of wonky.
Yeah, and that's a lot of those third-party controller. No, even the officially licensed ones where they would do something special, but you were always trading off on what you wanted. You know what I mean? Like, I had one with the cool turbo buttons, with the kind of like the more wing-shaped ones, but you lost your conventional directional pad. You had that red flat slider that
Oh
sucked.
yeah, that was horrible.
Yeah.
Some of my friends had those. Oh my gosh, I had actually forgotten about that until you brought it up. It's like, uh, I just want to forget about that. That was horrible.
Yeah, that sounds
You
like
go
a
over to
bad
your buddy's
time.
house. Yeah, go over to your buddy's house. Let's have an all-nighter, sitting there drinking beers, trying to play on something like that. Oh, it was bad.
I think I really liked it for Gunsmoke. It worked well for that, but that was about it. Otherwise, never used it. Okay, on the next page we have Atari Pro View, and I don't think this is going to last long. The Atari Pro Views. Desert Falcon. I mean, it doesn't look bad. It's for your Atari 7800. Looks like it was already out at the time or just being published. Egyptian. Yeah, sure. I am curious how many people at the time picked this up looking for Atari news. So maybe, I'm guessing even at this point they were the minority compared to the Sega and Nintendo crowd.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess,
that's
and Nintendo took
definitely
the
how.
market share
Yeah.
back then.
Okay, let's see what else we got here. Ah,
There it
more.
is.
Yeah, Atari Pro View. There's the original Mario Brothers, not to be confused with the Super Mario Brothers. Um, Not much to say about this other than certainly this is the Atari 800 Pro system. and it definitely looks better than the 2600 copy, that's for sure, or the 2800 copy. Um, I mean, I had this game via the little competitive part of Super Mario 3 that you can suck the other player into, but that was about it. How about either of you?
Yeah, this game always felt like the poor man's Bubble Bobble.
Yeah,
Like it was kind of similar, but wasn't as fun,
well,
is how I remember it.
it's really off-putting for people that grew up playing Super Mario Brothers because when you go back and play it, the jump mechanics and the physics is so off and
Yeah,
floaty and just just not nearly as enjoyable. Uh,
I remember it, but I never really never really played it.
uh,
I just remember it was a big thing at one point in time.
uh.
Yeah, it was not something that I played.
Okay, what else we have? Oh, here we go. Secret weapons, which later I know they changed this to SWAT, secret weapons
Oh
and
yeah.
yeah, tips, and then they even came out with a sister magazine that was just called SWAT for a while. I remember where it was supposed to be a collection of all these tips and secrets. So let's see what we got. They're telling us about the 30 lives of Contra. See, now everyone knows it, right? Up, up, down, down, left, right, left, left, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean,
PPA select start or then
yeah,
start.
yeah. It's its own thing now. But you know, back then, you unless if you heard it in school, this is
Yeah,
going
you
to
had
be
no idea.
valuable information.
Oh, it was definitely valuable back
Yeah.
then.
Yep. Mike
What
Tyson's.
other way can you beat the game without having to mess around?
Yeah. Mike Tyson's Punch Out. To play another world circuit, do the following time. You type in that code, hold down A and B. I don't think I ever did that. I know I jotted down the code for getting right to Mike Tyson, which is, you know, at the time, and even now, I would get slot. I wouldn't have a chance. I've seen videos of people
yeah,
beat it. That was never me. So,
Me either.
let's see. Shinobi. You can get to a level select from the title screen. That's pretty cool.
that is pretty cool.
Yeah. Afterburner. Oh, to get unlimited continues. But you have to press the pause button exactly 100 times before the demo starts.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah. Metroid. Play it. I like that. Play the girl in Metroid. They don't even call her Samus in this. That's funny.
That was obviously not widespread that she was a female from the get-go.
Yeah, yeah, or the idea that the the name Samus meant anything. You know, it's like,
Mm.
oh, she's just the girl in there. So, Legend of Zelda, start the second quest. I heard that one in school pretty early on. So, pretty cool.
Yeah, I definitely heard that. That was something that, kind of got spread around really quickly
Yeah, I mean,
once it hit the system.
when we look back at this, and they don't know which one is going to be ultimately be famous secrets on the Nintendo, but I mean, let's face it, it's hands down the Konami code, right? So,
Yeah.
and the Legend of Zelda one, I would say, would be number two out of this bunch.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Says it continues. Let's see what's on the next page. Oh, yep, some more. Bubble Bobble, pick any level. So there's that. Fantasy Zone, get unlimited weapons, and Black Belt. Secret extra level. There's Life Force, telling you about the the 30 lives. I
Yeah.
love the Life Force. Run to that so many times. Adventure Island. Let's see if I know this. So you want to continue, find the Hudson Soft B signa in the first level by jumping straight up at the end. Where the carrot is, the bee is in the egg. Okay. When they say continue, though, they just mean what we now call checkpoints. Otherwise, when you died, you had to start at the beginning of the stage.
Hmm.
That's all they mean there, I believe. So, Goonies 2, which confused the hell
Mhm.
out of me as a kid. I know that's pretty confused a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
Here's, yeah, you still need. Here's code. Okay, ice hockey. Take out the goalies.
That's actually kind of funny.
Yeah, I get a sound test mode. Xanic. I know I did there was a code to get to the you scroll through the music of Castlevania 3 from the title screen. I remember doing that.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Castlevania was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Okay, let's see what's here. Oh, more. Mighty Bomb Jack. I never got into that game. I think I rented it once,
Mm.
and I've since played it. I think it's now on the Nintendo Switch. NS if for free game if you're part of their online membership. 1943. I played that in the arcade and at home. Great game.
Yeah, that's an awesome game.
Pick your mission. Iron Tank. I rented that a few times. That was fun. Two codes that let you start at a higher area. Gradius. Okay. Space Harrier. Don't even remember that game. Up, up, down, down, left, right. Oh, that's it. Space Harrier also had the Konami code. Thunderblade. Okay. And then there's their address to send in your secrets. Now here's where they knew people were buying the magazine to look at. The overseas pro specs. Wow, they really lean hard into that.
Yeah,
Oh
they
Uh,
yeah.
do, don't they?
Super Mario 3. So again, this is not out in the Western world yet, and so they're snagging things they're getting from Japan. And I know as a kid, if I had this magazine, I'd be poring over page 40 and
Oh
41.
yeah. I mean, ingesting every little bit of it, trying to figure out if you're going to be able to win this game,
Yeah,
knock your friends off and whatnot.
I do notice that the variant in how they spell Koopa King is different here. Cuppa instead of
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cooppa. I noticed that. I was looking also at this time. Doesn't look like they know anything about the Koopalings. Um, so that's kind of interesting. But yeah, seeing this, I know I would have been like blown away when I first saw Super Mario 3. It's like, oh my god, it looks so much better than Super Mario Brothers 1, and it looks
Oh
like a
yeah.
Mario game again. So they do mention hopping over blocks of ice and quote unquote moonwalking over slippery grounds. They tell you got a frog suit. Oh yeah, this would have been reread about 1,000 times.
Oh yeah. Probably been worn out.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, we continue. Oh yeah, they're showing the warp zones. Call them pipe mazes. There's the variant on Koopa spelling again. Koopa
Yeah, it's a
King.
pretty in-depth write-up, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting they never call him Bowser. So
Yeah.
See anything on Bowser
Yeah.
in there?
yeah, it's just Koopa King through the whole thing, spelled definitely not the way they solidified the spelling in the Western market. But
Yeah, if you look at the screen, it's actually one of the screens, it's showing everything in Japanese.
Oh yeah,
All
that's
the
true.
all the
Yeah,
little words above it.
yeah, you're right. Let's see. The eighth world is the Koopa Castle, where the brothers are besieged with tanks, cannons, and boomerangs. Princess Peach. Yeah. Yeah, but no Koopalings talk. Interesting. We'll
It is
see.
considering the picture on the previous pages. You can see them in the picture
Oh yeah, let me check here.
in the artwork.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, yes,
Def-
and they would have
Huh.
got copied over. I guess they just didn't have any write-ups about it because you would think they would
Mm,
definitely talk about them.
you would have thought so.
Yeah,
They may have just gotten a few screens and a basic explanation from Nintendo.
yeah,
Yeah, that's very true. Nintendo is pretty, and they still do it to this day. They're usually pretty cagey about,
Yeah.
what they release.
yep, yeah, you're right. Okay, and now another controller. Ooh, a wireless controller. There we go.
I actually didn't know this existed. I
You're,
think this is actually pretty cool.
yeah, I didn't either.
Would
With
be
the, you see,
nice.
see the big receiver for it placed
Yeah,
on
look at
top.
that.
I did not know a single person that had that though.
Either.
Huh. Wonder how
All
well.
right. On that note, gentlemen, I'm going to have to bail on you.
Oh,
Thanks
okay.
for having me.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
I just reached the end of my time. I gotta head off, take the kids over to the wife. So,
No problem. We are running a little long, so we're gonna wrap this up quick here. Um, we'll catch you next time. Thanks for your being here.
all right. Thank you.
see you, man.
Later.
So now it's Pro News Report. Just quickly, just the video game, this Consumer Electronics Show, the CES, being held in Las Vegas, Nevada on January 7th to the 10th. And I guess that would be 1990.
Yeah, which I'm pretty sure CES still runs until this day, doesn't it?
Does it? Maybe it
I'm
does.
pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it does. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. Oh no, yeah, they're showing screens of the one that took place in 1989. So, man, it would have been cool to be able to kind of zap back in time and go
Yeah,
to
it
that.
would
You
have
know what I
been
mean?
cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
it would have been awesome.
So let's see what else we got. Short pro shots. This is yeah when you can tell where the not so popular games are going to be. It's going to be these ones.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's interesting to see that Mega Man gets put all the way down here. Doesn't
Yeah,
get a spread of itself because Mega Man's quite popular.
yeah, I know. I would say out of all these, just that is the probably the best game. It's certainly
Mm.
not going to be Knight Rider. I had that as a kid. Um, Airwolf is not so fun. I had Wizard and Warriors 2. I didn't like it as much as other people. I liked it because I had it, you know.
Yeah, yep,
But Three Stooges getting the same treatment as Mega Man 2 at this point is a little rough.
yeah,
So,
definitely, definitely.
Jekyll and Hyde, Stealth Eagle, Predator. I rented that out. Strider, Comfort. Yeah, so. But, well, Mega Man 2 is an amazing game. So much better than the
Mm.
first one.
They improved upon that immensely.
Yeah. Let's see what else they're showing here. Oh, you can buy. They're selling you on the membership. It looks like you can get your Game Pro shirt and uh,
I
cozy for
actually
your
wouldn't
drink.
mind having one of those.
Oh
Wouldn't mind
no,
having one of those T-shirts. Actually,
I
they're
mean no
awesome.
one right, but no one at school wore Game Pro shirts back then, and that's. But now I would do it because I'm just a
Oh, for
big old
sure.
nerd, you know. So But that would be a social kiss of death back then. I don't know who they're kidding.
Mm.
Okay, other ones that don't even have screenshots. Bad Dudes. I think that deserved a screenshot. That was a pretty good game. Rollerball, remember that? Yeah. Vegas Dream. Chess Master. Hoops.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
that.
pretty sure I had Chess Master back in the day. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't. My uncle had it. He had a Nintendo, and they had that. I liked it. I mean, I went through a phase as a kid. It was, of course, wanting to play chess. I thought that was fun. Um, it's no Super Mario 3, but
Mhm. Yeah.
uh, but I would say out of this page, the game I liked the most would have been Bad Dudes. Um, yeah, interesting. And I'm sure they go back and they do write-ups on these kind of things later on as they get more information and
Oh, yeah, definitely.
they might get some money for the quote unquote article. So
Mm. Yeah,
okay, what else? Okay, goal. This is more
yeah,
pro shorts. Shadowgate. Now that's going to end up being very big. I mean, that's
yeah.
a
It is
great one.
actually, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Superman is dumb. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not it's not a good game.
No.
Um, never had a good track record. Adventures of Bayou Billy. As a kid, I really wanted it. Our local place didn't have a place to rent it, so I just saw it in magazines like this or in comic book ads, particularly. I guess it's not a very good game. I mean, I've played it
Yeah.
since, and yeah.
Yeah. No, it definitely never made its way to Australia. That's for sure.
No.
That I'm aware of, anyway.
Well, it sounds like you and I didn't miss anything then. So,
Yeah,
uh,
but that's it.
yeah. Track and Field 2, I definitely would have not cared for that. California Games, friend had that. I have this cartridge now, but POW, um, that was a fun one. Kind of like an army Double Dragon.
Yeah, I've heard some all right things about that actually, but never played it.
No. Guerrilla War, no. Terminator, I had that as a kid. A, a pretty cheap game. It's probably good they don't do a screen cap on in that little right up there. So it's pretty junk. So I'm imagining get Terminator nowadays for a few bucks, even
Yeah, okay.
even among the collectors. Sky Shark, that's the yeah, I remember that. Mappy Land, I saw those in ads. I never played it back then. Fist of the North Star, that was a fun one.
That was all right actually. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was pretty cool.
yeah, it was wonky in ways, but it kind of had. I don't want to say role playing elements, but it kind of did.
Yeah, I know what you're trying to say. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely put some adventure in the fighting. Okay, let's see here. Mystery Quest, uh, Super Sprint. Now here we go. Here's one that definitely needs a bigger write up. Ninja Gaiden.
Hmm. Yeah, big time.
Yeah,
Big time.
certainly it could have had a screenshot instead of Taboo, the Sixth Sense tarot card game.
Yeah.
So, um,
Yeah. I wonder if some of these were not out at the time of the print, and this
that
is all they really had to run with.
I'm sure. I'm sure it is. I'm sure they're looking at studio news releases and you know. Yeah, I shouldn't get too much. I don't really mean to infer that this means they thought the game was going to be crap. But
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
you're right. It's also based
yeah.
on information. Um, that said, uh, Tecmo probably should have made sure that GamePro had more information. They should be given as much as they can, so they have a write up like Bubble Bobble, and maybe they will in issue. We'll see. I haven't looked at the other
Mm.
issues yet, so John Elway's quarterback. I never got into the football games, but
I didn't till late. Yeah, when I was a little bit older.
uh, And then we have Pro Artist Series. There we go. You can get $100 and you're drawing in GamePro.
That's actually crazy.
Yeah,
Like, $100 would have bought you, you know, pretty close to getting you a console back then.
yeah.
It's just, yeah,
And
crazy.
getting your stuff in a magazine. I mean, magazines had a lot more weight than they do now. I mean, it's
Oh, yeah, big time.
again, you didn't have the internet, so you couldn't just go
Yeah.
to a website and look stuff up. So there was a lot more eyes on a magazine than nowadays. So yeah, that was a big deal. Or even
Mm,
second prize, you're in GamePro and you get $50. Yeah, there's a game right there.
yeah,
So
yeah, that's crazy.
yeah, I would like to. We'll see in future ones. I'm kind of curious of what kind of talent ends up there. So we'll see. Oh, and then we're going right back to here. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Definitely had that game.
Mm,
Rented it a bunch. I have it now. The arcade, the Ninja Turtles arcade was a much better game, but they were trying to do something with that one at least. Never beat it.
yeah, no, that was a hard one.
Yeah. Um, Bump and Jump. Yeah, I remember that. New for Sega. We got Galaxy Force. Afterburners, a big one. Altered
Yep,
Beast.
that
Um,
game was pretty cool actually. Being able to change into the different
oh yeah,
different animals and stuff, that was cool.
going into beast mode, right? I mean, you hear that all the
Yeah,
time now.
yeah.
I don't think people actually, if you asked the average person, where's that from, they wouldn't know.
No, no, that's it exactly.
So yeah, that sticks out there. Reggie Jackson baseball, and it probably hasn't aged well. Or Action Fighter,
Mm,
but Pro Challenge Board. Get your high scores right here. See if you can beat these high scores. Um,
that's pretty cool actually that they put this in there.
yeah, yeah. It makes me want to open up one of these games and just see what these
Yeah,
scores represent because I can't remember off the top of my head, how impressive these are. I mean, the Contra one, I mean, 6,553,500 sure seems like a pretty big score.
it does. Yeah.
They should put an asterisk on there. It's like, is this with 30 lives or not?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, Double Dragon. Yeah, that's cool. Maybe I'll before another magazine issue, I'll take a look. I'll pop one of these in and just see how impressive these scores are.
Yeah, yeah. I am noticing a few names like AJF is across Nintendo, Sega, and Atari.
Yeah,
He was
yeah,
obviously he was obviously a rich kid.
yeah, yeah. Obviously, yeah. Well, it's kind of interesting. What challenge score is that? Just a score they made up and put there? I wonder.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the challenge score and they all look to be round numbers.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Huh. And let's see. You have to take a photo of the screen. I guess they didn't have to worry about photoshopping back then. So,
That's true.
yeah. Don't use Flash. You have to,
Turn out the
yeah.
lights in the room.
Yeah, yeah. That's funny. Slow motion is discouraged but will be allowed on certain games when our panel of judges feel slow mo is necessary. Interesting. Okay. And preview to the next issue.
Ooh.
Super Dodgeball. They're going to do a bigger write up on that. What else they got? New puzzle challenges, crosswords, dot and dot, and other brain benders. Don't think that probably sold to your audience as well as.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. starting with how to build a pro cartridge organizer. Let's see. I do need to organize my cartridges. They're being stacked in my closet at the moment, so that would be kind of cool. Okay, and then of course, I remember seeing this ad, the Nintendo Gamers Start Your Pulses ad, a lot in comic books I was collecting at the time. That that ad got a lot of print.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I kind of vaguely remember this actually.
Yeah, and all these versions are going to be the odd shaped ones that the unofficial Nintendo licensed ones. If you notice, they don't have the
Mm,
Nintendo emblem. I
yeah.
have. I guess the only one I have now I still have is the Gauntlet one. I have that cartridge.
Oh, that's
Uh,
cool.
yeah. Oh no, I also have the Pac-Man one too. Now that I think about it. Yeah.
I do definitely love that design of the Tetris cover. I think that is fantastic.
Oh yeah. No, that's cool. I used to think, see, I didn't know anything about it being unofficial and bypassing Nintendo's chip. I didn't know any of that as a kid. All I knew was like, wow, these cartridges are different, and I thought they were kind of special because of it. It was like, hey, they're doing
Yep.
something different. Everyone else does the cartridge exactly the same. Um, I didn't know what was up. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and the final page here, R.I.P. Toys R Us. Did you have
Mm.
Toys R Us over there?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it quite hit the heights that it did in the US, but it was definitely fairly big down here.
Yeah. The one near our place closed. Let's see, my kid was only probably 1 years old. So, uh, yeah. They were getting
Because
pretty
when
raggedy. I bought my
they
first
were,
place. Yeah, I bought my first PlayStation 2 at Toys R Us.
yeah, okay. Because when did they shut down? Was that like 2 years ago? I feel like.
When all of them shut down, it might have been more like
Yeah,
three. Yeah,
yeah, okay, yep.
yeah. Because I think their
That's
last hurrah was a lot of people were going back to them to collect amiibos for
yeah,
for
out of the like the cheap bins.
yeah, yeah. But that was yeah. I mean, the writing was on the wall. You walked into them at the end, and the shelves weren't being organized or all particularly stocked. And it,
Yeah,
it felt
yeah.
like a dying chain. But
Oh yeah, definitely.
um,
But I mean, this is a pretty good ad for them. You've got like the NES on here with the light gun.
oh
You
yeah,
got Double Dragon, Zelda, Super Mario Brothers 2, Simon's Quest. Like there's some pretty heavy hitters there.
yeah, yeah. And I'm sure they're doing just great right now at this time.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Over 350 Toys R Us stores, coast to coast. Um, I wonder if this is before they expanded worldwide, or maybe
Uh,
not. I mean,
I don't know. It says the world's biggest toy store, but you know they
yeah,
can say whatever they want, really.
yeah, the World Series, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
um, yeah, yeah, that's cool. So that wraps up issue one of GamePro that came out in May 1989. What do you think? Any parting thoughts?
It's you can definitely tell it's sort of a fledgling magazine to begin with. Like they've obviously got some industry insight, but yeah, it clearly and hopefully fleshes out a little bit more as more episodes. I shouldn't say episodes, more uh of them come out.
Yeah, no, I got that too because they really only had one industry write up, with Fitzer. So uh,
Yeah,
yeah, I kind of wonder. But I got to be honest, when I looked at GamePro, the ones I picked up, I don't. Now I was probably not caring about the write-ups about the people behind the games, on with a few exceptions. I just wanted to get to
yep,
the secrets. I wanted to see what's coming out.
yep,
So Yeah, I'm going to be curious if they steer away from that or they get more of an avenue to feature inside industry information. So that
Hmm.
I guess we'll find out. So, but
Yeah. Do we know? Do we
yeah,
know how many episode? How many? I keep calling them episodes.
I
Do we
do
know how
too.
many? Do we know how many volumes they did in total?
Oh, yeah, a lot. I mean,
Yeah. Okay.
um, in fact, I was working at a GameStop, and this is when I went back to college. In I would say I think they quit about 7 years ago because one of my coworkers brought in one of the final issues. So
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
they lasted a while, but and I thumbed through it. No, it was essentially a catalog of splash pages of stuff. I mean, when you go to any internet site and get more information, you weren't going to keep going. But
Yeah. Yep.
okay, well, I think that wraps it up. And thanks for being part of this. I hope,
No, thanks for having me.
yeah, I hope the people that listen to this like it. We're going to try do this on Fridays, and next episode will be issue number 2. So it will be the June 1989 issue. Okay. Have a good one.
Yeah. You too. Thanks, Murph.